So guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it's watching this video from. And my name is Charles. It's been a while, right? It's been a very long time with you guys on this channel, and I'm glad to be with you again. And I've been very busy in the community, in the free Telegram community, and also in the private community. But now I am back to bring some more contents to you guys, and sharing my analysis weekly basis and possibly every Wednesday too. So we'll have a weekly analysis on Sundays, Wednesdays, and then a review on Friday on the trade progress. All right, so that's part of the major contents that you're going to be getting, amongst many other things that are going to be coming your way. So it's been a while. It's been a while with you guys about here, and I'm glad to be back. All right, I'm glad to be back and active on this particular channel. So without wasting much of our time, let's just get right into the market compass and let's see what we can expect for the week. For this particular week, I'm going to be looking at, these are the assets I trade, all right? I trade the GBPJPY, the USDJPY, I trade the US30, the Dow Jones Index, and then I trade the EURUSD and the GBPUSD. Obviously, I use the DXY to monitor my EURUSD and GBPUSD plays and use it to forecast what I can potentially expect. All right. And we know that market is all about strengths and weaknesses. Well, with that, the forex market is all about the strengths and weaknesses of the particular currency pair you're trading. All right. So looking at the Euro USD, we're trying to just know whether the euro is potentially going to gain strength against the dollar. I'm adding one or two fundamentals and the rest of that. So, but then I'm going to do pure technicals today in this particular video. It's just be all about pure technicals. The follow-up on this particular video is going to be done in the Telegram channel, so the link will be dropped in the description box. You can always join and you can always watch from there. All right, so without wasting much of our time, let's get right into what we have in the market. And I'm going to be talking about the dollar index first. I'll be analyzing the dollar index, which is just the chart you can see right at the front here, right? So starting from the monthly time frame, my concern delay range on the dollar index is going to span from this particular lows to this particular highs, all right? Which is this lows where price is to this particular highs where price is. This is exactly the highs and lows that I'm very much more interested in on the monthly time frame to identify my bias or to identify the trades that I'm going to be looking out for. All right. So having said that, the next thing again I'm going to be talking about now will be to go down to the daily time frame to confirm my bias on what price is going within these levels. So you see that within this particular monthly time frame or trading, or within this particular monthly daily range, or quite trading above the 50% of that, and which is at premium, I have somewhat a bullish bias. Because if you turn to line chart and examine this chart price action here, you had these lower lows, you had lower highs, you had a lower low, and then you got that break of structure here. And ever since then, we've actually been respecting these lows, giving us these lows, these highs, and then a potential higher low. And let's see if this possibly leads us to a new higher high. That's exactly what I'm looking out for. And the fundamentals are actually also suggesting a potential bullish dollar or a bullish dollar. So, and we're just keeping an eye on this minor structural range that is being formed here. And let's see if we not get that continuation all the way to the upside. There are very many things that are very much interesting for me in this DXY range, current range that it is that we're trading, which is going to actually span from these lows all the way to these highs. Part of the things that I'm also looking out for is the reaction. I'm loving the reaction that price is giving rise from this imbalance. So it might be that point of interest for us to now begin to see some extra bullish price action to capture this highs first as our low-hanging fruit, which is the closest draw on liquidity, and then the next one is going to be this particular highs. In order for me to also finalize or confirm that, the next thing I always also like looking at is the quarter point levels, because I believe that yes, price is liquidity induced, or as price moves or is attracted to liquidity areas. So we use liquidity to identify potentially where price is coming from and potentially where price is going to head to. But I'm also a believer of concept of support and resistance, especially the quarters theory, that makes us understand that price is always journeying from one significant price point to another significant price point over a gradual increment of about 250 pips. And then I guess measuring pips on the DXY can be very little difficult, but then I'm using just the same model. So these black lines are just my 1000 pips range, as I shared with you guys in the bootcamp. Videos are also in the YouTube channel, and you can make reference to that. So I believe that price journey from one level to another level, and looking at the way price is moving, even if you draw a trend line here now trying to determine the trend of this market, we can see clearly that we are somewhat bullish on these guys, right? So, and I believe that this journey from this particular quarter point level should potentially lead us into this quarter point level before we start seeing any other opposite reactions or price action or anything related to that. So I'm keeping an eyes on more bullish continuations on these levels. And if I should expect those bullish continuations on these particular levels, coming to the 4 hours time frame, some other things that is quite interesting for me on the 4 hours time frame are the support and resistance that we have here. All right, so you see there are tons of support and resistance right here. If I should refine it even a little bit low here, you see that we have so many areas of support and resistance right around these levels, also in line with our daily imbalance, which makes so much more sense to me. And we've been reacting so much from there of recent. Looking at this 4 hours time frame here, we've been reacting so much from there. So if anything is going to make me have a change in bias, that means price will really need to break below the support and resistance, also giving us that clear 4 hours break, and then maybe we might consider some bearish price action. But as far as this price action is concerned, I'm looking at potential continuations from these levels to capture some of these highs, to capture some of these liquidities, and here, all right, some of the highs and then the liquidity areas that we have there. I think okay, there is none. All right, we have some relative equal highs here. If you look at these equal highs, we have some relative equal highs here that price could potentially be attracted to, and many other liquidity that we have above, plenty and many other liquidity that we have above. So I'm heavily bullish on the dollar index this week, which is simply going to imply what bearish EURUSD and GBPUSD. So without even having to go to EURUSD chart, it's pretty much simple to know exactly what we're expecting. So on the dollar, I'm looking at that bullish continuations. All right, so we have that imbalance on the daily time frame that I marked out initially. Let's anticipate what price is going to do. Looking at that quarter point and some other targets we have above. So now, if I should try to correlate that with what we have on the EURUSD, same thing, without having to go to the monthly time frame to want to build the bias and all that. All right, you can also follow the same model, but then it's the same thing. All right, we have on GBPUSD, I'm having more bearish bias. You can even see on the daily time frame the way price is respecting these lows, these lower highs, these lower lows, and then you have a potential lower highs being formed. So that means we really want to see this liquidity tab, and potentially this liquidity tab. We even have some relative equal lows here that are very clean liquidity for us that we might see price get really attracted to. So I'm keeping my eyes on this. So I'm bearish on GBPUSD throughout the week. I'm bullish on the dollar throughout the week. I'm bearish on EURUSD also throughout this week. So on EURUSD, just like we have on the dollar index, we have this imbalance where price is just rejecting off from, and I would really want to see price give us, this relative equal lows that we also have here. It's something very much attractive. We also have some very huge imbalance right there and some area targets for us that we might also see price get attracted to. So I'm heavily bearish on EURUSD, I'm heavily bearish on GBPUSD, and I'm heavily bullish on the dollar index. I'm also bullish on the on the USDJPY. We resumed some serious bullish price action on these assets. All right, reacting beautifully from the imbalance that we have right here. And I'm considering some more bullish price action. Potentially, we might see price maybe want to come into this imbalance and be trade higher. I don't know if exactly price would want to do that, but either ways, I know that I am expecting some more bullish price action to capture some of these highs right here, and maybe some relative liquidity that we have just right here, trendline liquidity, and some other points. If we correlate it to also what we have on the quarter point levels, we'll begin to realize that, okay, we just recently broke past a major quarter point, right? So more like, and all these quarter point levels serve as areas of support and resistance. So we just recently broke past the major support and resistance level of these quarter point levels. It's going to just make sense to see price respect this, and easy target is going to be this next quarter point, since it's always a journey, like you can see here, from one level to another level, from one level to another level. That is exactly how price move. All right, so it's an area, or it's an easy stop for me to know that, okay, this is what to expect. Remember the imbalance I mentioned that price came to react from? Can you see how that imbalance was also in perfect alignment to the quarter point right here? And right there, if you go down to the lower time frame, you see the clean evidences they gave us to consider these buys to the upside. And now that is the buys we are seeing. So I'm anticipating some more bullish price action on these guys on the USDJPY. Looking at the GBPJPY, apparently it's the same thing, all right? So we are reacting off from this major quarter point, and I'm anticipating more bullish price action. At least to this quarter point is being tagged before we can start seeing some major retracement to the downside. So more bullish price action, all right, on these guys on the GBPJPY. For the US30, we're actually trading at an all-time highs. At this particular time, I'm going to, okay, well, yes, we're actually trading at an all-time high. So I'll be staying off the US30 until we get some major pullback, and then we can start looking for some major bullish continuations. Until then, I really have nothing much looking at the US30 to trade. So this week, my eyes is on EU, is on GU, is on USDJPY, is on GBPJPY. So GBPJPY bullish, that is the bias. USDJPY bullish. Yes, EURUSD too, although I don't trade it, it's also a bullish bias. All right, then EURUSD bearish, GBPUSD bearish, and overall the DXY bullish. So these are my bias for the week, and I'll be sending in reviews again on Wednesday. We're going to review the progress of this particular chart analysis, and we're also going to give a review on Friday on how the week eventually happened and the trade opportunities that we would have gotten from this particular asset, and we'll see how far we can take that. All right, so for updates and the progress report on each of all these charts, I'll be sharing some potential points of interest during the course of the week as the price action forms in the free Telegram channel. The link is going to be dropped in the description box, so do well to join the Telegram channel. You'll get more info there, and let's ride this week. So cheers to a very, very fruitful week, and cheers to a profitable week. I hope you got values from this. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and drop a comment. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments. I will definitely reply. All right, so thank you very much for watching, and cheers to greatness. Shalom, shalom.